You see the images, don't you? The needle point of the Burj Khalifa, piercing the clouds. Man-made islands shaped like palm trees, visible from space. A city of shimmering glass and gold that seems to have erupted from the desert sand, fully formed. But what if I told you that image is an illusion? Not because it isn't real, but because it's only the final chapter of an unbelievable story. This isn't just a guide about what to pack or where to eat. This is the one thing you truly need to know before you go to Dubai, the story of how it was forged. Because understanding its past will completely change how you experience its present. Less than a lifetime ago, this global metropolis was little more than a sun-scorched fishing village, a tiny, quiet settlement huddled around a saltwater creek. Life wasn't measured in skyscrapers, but in the rhythm of the tides. Its economy wasn't built on finance, but on the courage of pearl divers, men who would plunge into the warm Gulf waters, holding their breath for minutes at a time, searching for iridescent treasures. For generations, this was Dubai, tough, resilient, and deeply connected to the sea. But in the early 20th century, a disaster struck, one that had nothing to do with desert storms or rough seas. It came from Japan, in the form of the cultured pearl, and it threatened to wipe Dubai off the map entirely. The global market for natural pearls collapsed almost overnight. The lifeblood of Dubai's economy was gone. For any other small, remote trading post, this would have been the end of the story. But Dubai's ruler at the time, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, possessed something far more valuable than pearls: foresight. He saw this crisis not as an ending, but as a turning point. He knew that survival meant looking beyond the sea and inviting the world in. His first move was audacious. While his neighbors were growing wary of foreign influence, Sheikh Rashid made Dubai a free trade zone. He slashed taxes and import duties, sending a clear message to merchants across the region and beyond. Come here, do business, you are welcome. But there was a problem. The Dubai Creek, the city's main artery for trade, was shallow and constantly silting up. Larger ships couldn't enter. So he made another gamble. He borrowed what was then a colossal sum of money, millions of dollars, to dredge the creek, deepening and widening it so modern vessels could finally anchor. People thought he was mad. He was building a harbor for an era of trade that hadn't even arrived yet. He was building the future on pure faith, a bet that would define Dubai for the next century. And then, in 1966, deep in the desert, the drill bit struck. Oil. It's the part of the story everyone thinks they know. The moment the magic lamp was rubbed and a modern city appeared. But that's not what happened. Neighboring states had found far, far more oil. Dubai's reserves were modest, and everyone knew they were finite. This is where the story takes its most important turn. Sheikh Rashid famously said, "My grandfather rode a camel. My father rode a camel. I drive a Mercedes. My son drives a Land Rover. His son will drive a Land Rover, but his son will ride a camel." It was a stark warning. The oil was a blessing, but a temporary one. It wasn't the destination. It was the fuel. Fuel to build something that would last. So instead of simply cashing the checks, the oil revenue was immediately poured back into the ground. Not for palaces, but for infrastructure. A modern airport was built. Roads, bridges, and hospitals were constructed at a breathtaking pace. A deep-water port was commissioned. They weren't just building a city. They were building a launch pad, laying down the concrete and steel foundations for a future that would have absolutely nothing to do with oil. And that vision was about to go global. With the foundations in place, Dubai was ready to get noticed. But how does a tiny Emirati compete on a world stage? You don't just think big, you think bigger than anyone else. In the late 1970s, construction began on the Jebel Ali port. It wasn't just a port, it was conceived as the largest man-made harbor on planet Earth. A move so ambitious, it was seen as another folly. But Sheikh Rashid's motto was simple: build it and they will come. And they did. Then, in 1985, another impossible idea took flight, literally. With just 2 leased aircraft, Emirates Airline was born. Its mission? To connect Dubai not just to the region, but to the entire world. To turn its geographic location from a remote outpost into a central global hub. While the port brought the world's goods to Dubai's doorstep, the airline brought its people. And to house this new global workforce, they built the Dubai World Trade Center. At the time, it was the tallest building in the entire Middle East, a lone skyscraper standing as a declaration of intent. These weren't just projects, they were strategic pillars: trade, transport, tourism. The brand of Dubai, one of ambition, innovation, and unparalleled scale, was being born. So now, when you arrive in Dubai, look around. That skyline isn't a monument to oil wealth. It's a monument to the fear of what happens when the oil runs out. That incredible efficiency and service you experience, it isn't just good hospitality. It's the modern-day echo of a century-old policy to be the best place in the world to do business. The stunning multiculturalism, where over 200 nationalities live and work together, that's not a recent phenomenon. It's the result of generations of an open-door policy started by a leader who dredged a creek so the world could sail in. The one thing you need to know before you go to Dubai is this: you are visiting a city built on a deadline, a city locked in a constant race against the future. It's a place born from the desert, forged in crisis, and fueled by a relentless, almost impossible ambition. Understanding this story of pearls, ports, and impossible dreams doesn't just give you context, it gives you insight into the very soul of the city. And it will make your journey there not just a vacation, but a lesson in what's possible.